To the Lock It Down Sports Podcast. I'm Locke Hoover, and as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Lock It Up Media. That's Lock It Up Media on X. You can also check us out at E5280 Sports. That's E5280 Sports. And today in the Lock It Down Sports Podcast, more problems in Flowery Branch, college football games that will impact the playoff outlook, and where things stand in Knoxville. And that's exactly where I want to start the show today, as Tennessee's season is pretty much over for the grand scheme of things, the big picture, the things that matter. And that's obviously the playoff. Yeah, outside chance a 9-3 team gets in, but I don't see Tennessee really getting in, and it's really frustrating because I shouldn't have lost that Oklahoma game. I mean, they dominated in every way except for the one thing that mattered. But I mean, when you have 3 turnovers, a chip shot field goal you missed, play calling, and some clock management issues, that's usually going to do it. Defense played the best game they've played all year, without a doubt, especially in the SEC play. I don't think it was the defense's fault this game. For once, I mean, this is the best game they've played. Surprisingly, this game was on the offense. They had 3 turnovers, and they missed a chip shot field goal. I mean, play calling would have been different, especially towards the end of the game when it's like, oh, man, they're down 3. I wonder where those 3 points went. I wonder what happened there. How would that change things if we only needed 3 points? Or, boy, that touchdown puts us within 3. You know, all these little things that kind of affected things in that game that shouldn't have. So where does that mean? Where does that go? Obviously I want to finish strong. I want to finish the regular season out. And why did I say 9-3? I meant 7-3. I'm dumb. Or 6-3. I'm dumb. But I would like to finish 9-3, I guess is what I meant. But yeah, I don't know where I got 9-3. I made that up. I want to 6-3. Got New Mexico State coming up. But then there's 2 games you really want to win. You don't want to lose to the Gators in the Swamp. We haven't won them in a long time, especially in Florida. I think it's 02, 03, last time we won in the Swamp. And there's been many times when we were the better football team, we played like crap and lost. And then you don't want to lose to Vandy. You don't. They're having their best season ever, and you're just like, okay, that's cute, Vandy. We're going to take care of you. So while I say yes, they're big games, but let me rephrase big games. Let me say more important games. But you want to finish 9-3 and kind of look into the offseason of kind of what's the outlook. And there needs to be changes. There needs to be some changes on the staff. First one I think is offensive coordinator, is defensive coordinator. Tim Banks has had one good year defensively. Obviously, we all know that was last year, 2024, which carried the team to the playoffs. Number 7 overall ranked defensively, and then number 8 overall scoring defense. But you look at his entire tenure, 5 years in Knoxville. 3 of his 5 years, his defense was ranked 90th or worse in total defense. And I'm counting this year. And this year, 2025, he's currently sitting at 98th with a scoring defense of 114. I don't have to tell you that's not good. Yeah, they do some good things. They get after the quarterback, get sacks, force turnovers. That's in the upper half, but everything else is bad. I mean, it's just as if you really want to go look at the numbers. That's kind of just the overall thing of where they sit defensively. Yeah, and they missed a lot of missed tackles this year too, which is unacceptable. Maybe some of it is missing your top two starting corners all year, and McCoy and Gibson, who's played in one game, the Syracuse game. Yeah, Colton Hood, nice addition. He's looked good as a portal transfer. But think how good the defense had the potential to maybe be if he's your number 3 corner. Maybe he's playing that star position. Maybe he spells and rotates in with the 2 other corners. But you don't know. And 3 out of 5 years, his defense has been bad. Like really bad. So I think this might be one of the issues. Everybody on Josh Heupel's staff is his friend, his buddy, which there's some good to that, and I think there's also some bad to that. Maybe they do, but I don't know. Do they challenge him? Say, no, Josh, I don't like this. This isn't a good scheme. This isn't a good concept. This isn't a good fill in the blank. Or is it, hey, whatever I say, it goes, it's good. And that's kind of what I wonder some offensively, as he's a play caller. And I kind of wonder some things. Only Lane was an offensive lineman for Tennessee. And he said there's a big difference between Alex Golish, former OC, now the head coach at South Florida, and Joey Hazel. And I wonder if it's affecting this offense. Alex Golish, Lane was saying, was many plays ahead on what was being called. And then he told Heupel what play was hey, we got this play ready to go. Multiple plays ahead, like the current play hadn't even been ran, and Alex Golish is like, okay, we've got X, Y, and Z plays coming up. Which that takes a lot of off the plate of Josh Heupel, even if he's playing, still calling plays with Alex Golish. With Hazel, he's saying it's very much Coach Heupel. What do you want to call here? What do you want to do? What's what are you feeling? What are you thinking? And it's like, sometimes you just gotta react. You gotta know where you're going. It's like a pitcher on the mound. Here's how I'm trying to set up this batter. Fastball inside. Fastball up and in. Then I can go outside because I've already off speed or my slider, whatever, because I've already established the inside corner. Now he's thinking, I gotta watch the inside corner. Just like offensive, you're setting up the defense with plays. Ones that work, ones that don't. And hey, Josh, what do you think about here? What do you like this? I think it can, and it might have affected Josh Heupel this year trying to manage a game and just little things he can miss as a head coach. There's obviously there's so much going on. Clock management could be an issue, or long-term, the overall outlook of the plays instead of in the middle of, I didn't get this 3rd and 5 to continue to drive on the 40-yard line. We need Heupel involved in the offense. Obviously, he's an offensive guy. That's how he got his chops, and that's why he's where he's at now. But I think there's some things he could be missing overall, and they've gone back. Jimbo Fisher was the last head coach at Florida State to win a national championship by calling his own plays. Obviously, Lane Kiffin's given up play calling. Offense is still churning. Ryan Day has given up play calling. Eli Derkowitz has given up play calling. All those teams, of course, are different successes. Obviously, Ohio State and Ryan Day compared to Eli Derkowitz at Missouri. Yeah, it's a different level, but there's still been continued success with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, as brilliant of a play caller and offensive-minded he is. So it's something to consider, something that needs to be changed, things that really need to be looked at and considered and changed this offseason, because he's not going to be fired. He shouldn't be fired. I know there's a overkill craziness on Twitter of Heupel's got to go. He's got to get fired this year, blah, blah. Like, easy. Let's pump the brakes. Remember, we are Tennessee. We've been to the desert for a long time. But there's an expectation of not just being in the hunt. We want to be great. We want to be elite. Cool. We're in the hunt, and then we hit something. Everything works perfect this year, and we win the Natty. Cool. That's obviously exciting, but it's taking that next step, and that's kind of, I think, where Tennessee is at this point. 9-3, 10-2. Can we make that next step? 11-1, 12-0, national championship, real conversation, national championship, and instead of kind of they're a 7 to 11 range in a given year to see what happens. Maybe they get in, maybe they don't, or they're definitely the playoff, but where are they? What are they now? Cool, they're in, but what? So there needs to be a real look at the staff to consider, what are we doing? How do we take it from good to great and then great to elite? Like that next tier, that next step is where this Tennessee program is at this time. And it's taken a long time to get there. And Heupel's gotten us to being pretty good in the hunt, in the conversation, which we're like, that's great. We love that. If you ask any true fan that knows ball, okay, we're in good shape, but what's the next step? Now, something that it's just so frustrating with another one of my teams, and that's the Birds. I'm talking about, of course, the Atlanta Falcons. And at a press conference this week, Michael Penix was asked a question, who he leans on as a quarterback to help you both mentally and physically. And his response was his fiance is always there for him, no matter what, mentally, which I love. That's fine. That's good. Family, your loved ones, people that are close to you that, what? I can go home, take my mind off football for until the next day, whatever time I get home, Football's done. It's taken care of for the day. It's over. I can talk about, the dog, how's your day, et cetera, the family, that sort of thing. That's That's totally fine. I'm okay with that response. It's all the other stuff I'm not fine with. And then his response was, as for on the field stuff, there's no quarterback or anything he leans on and talks to. Red flag. First year's a starter. Rookie quarterback, kind of rookie, but first year as a starter. Where's Kirk Cousins? Where's the leadership from the veteran quarterback that's been there, that's done that, that's been in the battles, that's been in the wars, and Kirk Cousins, the backup, nowhere to be found. Yeah, he's pissed that he lost the starting job and he wants to start, but also he chose to be here because he can waive his no trade clause. He can waive his no trade clause. Yeah, he was hoping to get cut and then he could go sign and be a starter that way. But nope, you're a really expensive backup. You got your money. You chose to be here how you structured your contract or how your agent structured your contract, whatever. So you're here. It's on you. And then I think it was also concerning too, to me anyway, that he didn't say, oh yeah, this defensive end, this defensive tackle. Oh, yeah, Drake London, Darrell Mooney, who's been around. He didn't say anybody offensively. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, two running backs that are not lengthy veterans, but they've been in the league a couple years. That bothers me as well. Although which once again said he does lean on quarterback coaches back at home that reach out to him as well and tell him to clean things up in his game. Where's your quarterbacks coach? Where's your offensive analyst? Where's your quality controls coach? Where's your offensive coordinator? Where's your head coach? That's not a good look for Zach Robinson and Raheem Morris and other offensive coaches that he didn't at least, just mention them. He didn't even mention them in passing. He didn't say, oh, yeah, of course, my coaches, my offensive coordinator, my head coach. And Jess, he didn't even say that in passing. That's kind of a problem. Not a good look at all. Now, I don't like this. I don't like this either. I think it's a bad look from the reporter. And I think I know why she did. She's come out and doing this. So this local reporter from a local news station asked this question, and after this response, and it kind of blew up on social media, says the answer was taken out of context because he did not say any teammates or coaches. She said it was implied in his answer. I think she's saying all of this because the Falcons have rabbit ears and she wants access to the team to be able to get in the locker room and go to practice and press conferences and ask questions. I think that's why she's come out and tried to defend his answer from her question. Her job's to ask the question, why are you trying to defend his answer? That's not her job to defend his answer. I think she still would have access, but it makes her look bad to me. She came out and said it's implied that the coaches and teammates were part of his answer. I mean, if it's implied, why didn't Michael Penix just not say, oh, yeah, so-and-so and so-and-so on the coaching staff or team? Oh, yeah, of course, Zach Robinson and Raheem Morris. And also other quarterback coaches, my college coaches, some high school coaches as well reach out to me and tell me to clean up some things. Or the other way around. Oh, yeah, high school coaches, some college coaches, and of course, the staff here. If it's so implied, why didn't he didn't even say it in passing. I mean, the coaching staff and the offense has been so bad this year, and he hasn't played great. Maybe he isn't happy. So how is this? Oh yeah, it's implied. Now, if the Falcons scoring 40 points a game, sure, it'd be implied because the offensive team, the offense is playing great. They're doing what they're supposed to do day in, day out, drive after drive. They're putting up points to help the team win football games. But they've had some really bad losses and played really bad. You get shut out in the NFL. And you get blown out in the NFL twice this year already. Like, that doesn't happen in the NFL. Since everything is pretty much a one-score game, that stuff does not happen. And it's happened twice. So I think it's a bad look on this reporter to say, oh, yeah, that stuff's implied. She's trying to cover her back for how Michael Penix answered the question. It's not her job at all. You ask the question, they give the answer. Why is she trying to go? Because his response blew up on social media. That's not an indictment on her. That's an indictment and a response from Michael Penix and the Falcons organization, where they are and how they are as a team right now. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad, and it's just sad. That's where the Falcons franchise is currently. At Carolina this week, I can't even get into the Darnell Mooney stuff. I can't. I just gotta save that for another time. I'm done being mad at the Falcons and this organization for today. We'll get some more frustration probably in my next podcast because it's the Falcons and the organization, and yeah, you can hear my disgust. Now, playoff implications are happening this Saturday in college football. A few in the SEC, big ones. Oklahoma and Alabama. I like Alabama in the game. I think they're just overall better team. Just watching the two offenses and the two defenses. Sampson, man, he can play. Absolutely, he can play. I think Alabama's the better team. They've looked really good. After Florida State game, their one loss of the year, which is looking like a bad loss, but they've played great. Oklahoma has to win to stay in it. They've got two losses. A loss to Alabama would be a third. They've already lost to Texas and Ole Miss. And then the schedule is not easy. They got a solid Missouri team and who knows LSU team. Still very dysfunctional LSU team, but they've still got talent. Nussmeier's still a pretty solid quarterback there. If Alabama loses at this point, I think they still get in with the rest of their schedule. If they win out, of course. Now, if they lose to Oklahoma and they lose to Auburn, that's another discussion. But they went out. Alabama's in. Oklahoma's got to win, or else they're eliminated. Same goes for Texas, as they got Georgia. I think Georgia's a better team. They've been good. And I mean, you heard my tone, good. And that's really what they've been. They haven't been great. They haven't been this elite dominant team. They've been good. And Texas has not looked good at all, really, this season. But the only dominant win Georgia's had was last week against Mississippi State, who's yeah kind of team. Once again, it's a elimination game for Texas. They got 2 losses. They'll lose the third one, they're out, and they've still got not a good Arkansas team, but a really dangerous Arkansas offense that can score, and then of course they got Texas A&M to end the year. So tough. 2 more tough games coming up for Texas. And I said after the Florida loss, I don't see Texas getting through with the schedule that they had. You know, they got by Oklahoma, they beat Oklahoma, but then I'm like, well, they still got Georgia, they still got Texas A&M, who I think might be one of the best teams in the country. Texas A&M, the way they've looked really impressive. So you got that game, and then you got Notre Dame and Pitt. 2-loss team, both of them, elimination game. Both played soft schedules. Notre Dame's going to get in. They're currently in because, well, they're Notre Dame. Once again, I don't have enough willpower to get mad at the playoff selection committee because we know how much, I'll put it politely, BS it is. How bad it is, how bad the selection committee is, saying they can't compare Miami and Notre Dame on a graphic because Miami is 5, 6, 7 spots below them at the time when they first came out with the rankings. But I don't have a good memory, but I am old enough to remember when Miami beat Notre Dame this year. But hey, what's head to head? What does that mean? Why does head to head matter? Why does it even matter? Yeah. So Pitt's pretty much got to run the table, obviously, and win the ACC to get in. Notre Dame can get in with 2 losses because they're Notre Dame. But if they lose to Pitt, 3 losses, fingers crossed, that should just about do them. But once again, they've got one thing on their side. They're Notre Dame. And so they get the benefit of the doubt, even though when they're not that good of a team, they play a soft schedule. Why? Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. They're Notre Dame. So I think those are 3 big games with playoff implications to see what happens this week. As always, you can follow me on X at Lock It Up Media. That's Lock It Up Media on X. You've listened to Lock It Down Sports on E5280 Sports. I'll talk to you next week.